Leonard Graves pushed open the door to his penthouse that rainy afternoon, tired and soaked from the storm. He expected silence, the same heavy silence that had lived in his home for years. But instead, he heard it. A sound he thought he would never hear again. Laughter. Not just any laughter. The high, breathless giggle of a child. And Leonard froze in the hallway. His briefcase slipped in his hand, his heart pounding. For a moment, he wondered if his mind was playing tricks on him. His wife's laughter had died years ago. His son had never laughed like this. Not once. Step by step, he followed the sound, afraid that if he moved too quickly it would vanish. And then, he saw the impossible. His son, Elliot, the boy who had never walked. The boy doctors said could walk, but never did. He was on his feet, smiling, laughing, alive. And holding him steady was Amara, the new maid. She lay on the floor with her legs raised, balancing him like a game. No therapy, no medical tools, just presence, just play. Leonard's chest tightened. His son's legs, once limp and still, were straight, strong, moving. For the first time in 3 years, Elliot wasn't broken. He was standing. Leonard couldn't breathe. His eyes were locked on Elliot, as if he was seeing a ghost. And then, it happened. One small foot moved forward, then another. Elliot was walking. Not running, not steady, but walking. For 3 years, every doctor, every specialist, every therapist had tried and failed. Machines, sessions, endless reports. Nothing worked. Leonard had spent money, time, and hope, only to watch his son stay frozen. And yet here he was, taking his first steps. Not in a clinic, not with experts, but in their own living room, with a maid who had no training at all. Leonard's voice cracked. How is this possible? Amara looked up at him, calm and gentle. I didn't heal him, she said softly. I just played with him. He didn't need fixing. He needed someone to listen. Leonard's chest ached. His mind raced back to the endless nights he had walked past Elliot's door, hearing nothing, feeling nothing. Had he been wrong all along? His son turned toward the sound of his father's voice. His little legs shook, his steps wobbled, but he kept moving. One step, then another, and then straight into Leonard's arms. The briefcase thudded to the floor as Leonard caught him, trembling. His son's laughter filled the room, breaking years of silence. For the first time, Leonard wasn't holding a fragile, broken boy. He was holding hope. Leonard's arms were still wrapped around his son, but his eyes stayed fixed on Amara. His voice shook, half anger, half confusion. What did you do? How did you make this happen? Amara didn't flinch. She didn't rush to explain. She simply wiped her hands on her jeans and said, I didn't make anything happen. I didn't try to fix him. I just listened. I gave him my time, my presence. Leonard blinked, stunned. That couldn't be it. Could it? His mind shot back to the countless therapy rooms, the sterile white walls, the machines, the cold tests. Doctors with clipboards, therapists with checklists, insurance forms and endless bills. All of it clinical, all of it detached. And where had he been through it all? Not in the therapy rooms. Not at Elliot's side. He had been in boardrooms, signing contracts, moving money, trying to solve a broken heart with broken logic. For the first time, he admitted it. Not to Amara, not even out loud, but to himself. He hadn't been trying to heal his son. He had been trying to buy back the love he had lost. His throat tightened. He looked at Amara again, desperate for something that made sense. But before he could ask another question, Amara's eyes softened. She hesitated, then spoke in a low voice. I helped Elliot because I know what it feels like to lose a child. Amara took a deep breath, her voice low but clear. He wasn't really my child, but I loved him like he was. His name was Jordan. Leonard's arms tightened around Elliot. He didn't dare interrupt. "I worked as a nanny for him," Amara continued. "He had the same quiet eyes as your son, the same fear of sound, the same silence. But his parents didn't believe in waiting. They wanted fast results, quick progress. They didn't want patience." Her hands twisted in her lap. "When I begged them to slow down, they fired me. And a year later, Jordan died, in a hospital bed, all alone." Leonard felt his chest ache. He couldn't think of a single word to say. Amara's eyes dropped to the floor. "I wasn't there when he left this world. I wasn't there to hold his hand, to tell him he wasn't alone. And that guilt, it never leaves me." Slowly, her gaze lifted back to Elliot, resting peacefully against his father's chest. "When I saw your son, I saw Jordan. I saw the boy I couldn't save." The room went silent. The only sound was the soft patter of rain against the glass. And then Amara whispered, barely loud enough to hear, "When I saw your son, I saw him." Leonard finally said the words he had been hiding from for years. "I haven't been a father," he whispered. "I've just been a man living in the same house." The truth hit him hard. Elliot moved gently in his arms, too young to understand, but somehow reminding his father of everything he had missed. Amara's voice was calm, but firm. "It isn't too late. He doesn't need you to be perfect. He just needs you to show up. To be here. Really here." Leonard lowered his head. For so long, he had lived behind walls, suits, meetings, money, power. It made him feel strong on the outside, but empty on the inside. And now, sitting on the couch with his son pressed against his chest, those walls started to crack. Elliot's little hand grabbed onto his shirt, holding tight. That tiny gesture cut deeper than any business loss or victory ever could. It was trust, pure and simple. Leonard's eyes burned. He looked at Amara and spoke softly, but with a weight he hadn't felt in years. "I promise. I'll change." But the question hung heavy in the room, even louder than his words. Could he really do it? The next morning didn't feel like any other. For the first time in years, Leonard didn't leave for the office. No rushing, no meetings, no phone buzzing. He stayed home. He sat on the floor, watching Elliot play with blocks. It felt strange, this simple moment. Strange but new, like he was finally meeting his son for real. Then it happened. Elliot stood up, tried to take a step, and stumbled. Leonard's body tensed, ready to grab him. But before he could move, Elliot pushed himself back up. On his own. Leonard's eyes widened. His son hadn't just walked. He had fallen, and found the courage to rise again. From the corner, Amara watched quietly. "You look shocked," she said with a small smile. "I am," Leonard admitted. "All this time, I thought he was broken." Amara shook her head. He was never broken. He just needed someone to stop rushing. Her words hit him hard. Leonard thought of every night he walked past Elliot's room. Every time he chose work over presence. Every moment he ran away from grief instead of facing it. He looked at Amara, his voice heavy. "Then tell me, how do I fix all the years I lost?" Leonard sat on the rug, a toy dinosaur in his hand, staring at Elliot like he was learning a foreign language. "How do I even play with him?" he muttered under his breath. At first it was awkward. He made the dinosaur roar too loudly, and Elliot flinched. He moved it too stiffly, and Elliot just stared. Leonard felt clumsy, like a stranger in his own home. But then he softened. He lowered his voice, moved the toy slowly, letting Elliot take the lead. And to his surprise, Elliot reached out. His tiny hand grabbed the dinosaur and then, without fear, he crawled straight into Leonard's lap. For a second, Leonard froze. Elliot had never done that before. Never trusted him like this. The weight of his small body against his chest almost broke him. Tears burned Leonard's eyes. He thought of all the nights he had been away, all the birthdays missed, all the laughter that never happened. And he whispered to himself, "I can't believe I almost missed this." Amara stood quietly in the doorway, watching. Her presence was calm, steady, like she had been guiding both father and son toward this very moment. Leonard looked up at her, his voice trembling. "Will you stay? Not just as a maid, but as part of our lives?" Amara hesitates, glancing toward the doorway. She didn't take this job forever. This wasn't meant to last. Leonard steps closer, eyes full of honesty. He isn't asking out of pity. He wants her to truly see them, to see Elliot. "I'll stay," Amara says softly, taking a steady breath. "But only if you promise to be the father he needs." Leonard nods, tears running down his face. I promise," he whispers, his voice shaking. The room falls silent, heavy with hope and worry. Leonard's tears aren't just relief. They carry the weight of knowing what's at stake. This isn't just about Elliot learning to walk. It's about a broken family finding its way back to each other. The house feels different now, warm, alive. Leonard is finally present. Elliot plays on the floor, laughing, thriving. Amara moves quietly nearby, guiding without needing to be asked. Elliot reaches out and touches Leonard's face, full of trust and joy. Leonard bends down, kissing his son's small hand, a gesture he hasn't made since his wife passed. Amara watches them, a soft smile on her face, realizing her role is bigger than just a maid. She has helped this family begin to heal. The room falls into a comfortable silence, filled with love and possibility. The narrator's voice lingers. Families aren't just made by blood, but by choice. What choice will Leonard make tomorrow?